we're there, and there's quite a bunch of us fellas, maybe 76 or 70, in some of these camps, maybe 100. We never sing them very awful fast. That's just a kind of a snappy, humpy song. There's some things, you can get up and sing off those songs pretty fast. Now, we used to, when I was in the woods and used to be going, the last couple of words, when we finishing up a song, we just talked that off.
Why?
I don't know, but that was the
way,
pretty much of them, yeah. Wherever I worked, the last couple of words, we never just talked the last, as we finished up the song, the last word, we talked that off, or what to do.
Yep.
Just the simplest thing right up there, just the last, and talk that off, you see. I don't know, that's the way we was always got putting everybody that was worked around here. Some brothers that come off and different, maybe they sing a little different. We, not very much, but little.
Well, how would a lumberjack sit down to make up a song? How are these lumberjack songs made up?
Well, it's just a series from one to sing one song and one another, and then they'll go out here, and you know what work you do, and they make it up about the camp and work, or what work you do there, or what you're doing on the river, or in the woods, or if you cook, or about the cook, or about the shanties, and all so like that, what work you do. And we make that up, and maybe one would take a couple of them to make up a song sometimes, Well, now since I sitting down and try to make one up, and I'd be kind of a little monkeyed on. One of the fellows say, how would you think of this working? He'd be thinking about the same thing and put in the word. And if I thought it was all right, and I like it, I'd say fine or something like that. And we'd just keep on going like that till we got the song. When we got the song, sometimes he wouldn't make up a song or together or something. I'd make up a little speech about a song, and maybe I wouldn't like it. Maybe he'd make up a song and he'd like it. And keep on going till got the song that we thought to do to sing it, and they'd say, sing your song. Well, we sing a song. And it was a nice song, we all liked it, And then some of us tried to learn it, some of them couldn't learn it. You could sing a song 100 times to some people and they couldn't learn it. But in my day, early day, when I was all together, I ain't all here today, and there ain't been since I've been stuck with the club, or the car, I would say. But when I used to be a young man working in the woods, up to 50 years old or 60 years old, I thought I was a young man, Practically till I got hit. I felt just like a young man. I hardly ever been sick. I hardly ever had a doctor. I guess I had a doctor one time. Went up here to go on the drive. Way up in here, had one of the Chipaway. My father took us up, 8 of us, 6 of us. There was 6 of us. And it was about all this team could do. We had a good team, too, to pull on a wagon, take about us up the 2 rivers. Muddy roads, in the spring of the year and early. Frost going out the ground. Lord took him, we didn't want to walk and carry our turkeys up there, and we went up there. We got up there, and when we got 2 rivers, from there we started to walk. And it began to rain, to be 2 of a kind. I didn't feel very well when I started and went up. We took our turkey on back, and my brother went off with us. He was one of them, was going up on the drive. And a cousin of mine, now it's kind of funny about that, but after we got 2 rivers, we went in there, and they got a few drinks, and they got a bottle to take along, and I kept telling them, I don't feel very good. Boys, I'm good enough and not to go up today. This fellow, the foreman, wanted me to go up, be sure and go up, and I picked him up to go up. So, got out there, and we come on dark, and it began to rain. Well, we had to trail through the woods for about, I got within a mile and a quarter of the shanty. And I kept falling behind. I said, you're talking, I can't go no further, boys. They pulled in around, thought I was playing off on them, and they went on and left me there. God, I stayed right there all night. It rained, and damn it, I had a few matches, and I couldn't, I come right down with a typhoid malaria fever. right there. By God, I was a sick man. I just tell you, I couldn't hardly move. Just took me my back, and I just round there, and of course, I had good heavy clothes on. It rained quite a little, and I monkeyed around, did get some leaves. Fussed around, I made a little bit of a fire, and stood around that, and couldn't follow them up. And then fellas went right on, expected that, well, he'll get up and come on. He can stand quite a little bit. They thought, that I was really drunk. I drank two drinks, but I wasn't drunk. I was sick. I kept telling them I was sick, and they thought too, he'll show up and come on, But God, they got on up there and kept waiting for me. And when they got in there, they didn't know which way the hell they come in, dark, and there was something there before, and they got up at the camp. God, I stayed there till morning. Well, it kind of quit raining, but I monkeyed around, kicked around, and kept getting a little old dry brush, and kept that fire going a little bit, because I couldn't lay down, but oh boy, there I was. Pretty quick I heard a rooster crow just a little while before daylight. It was a shanty right up about a quarter of a mile from where I was. Old feller lived over there, him and an old woman. And I'd never been up to on that trail before to go over to this, where the camp was, where they were going to start from there, where they had the camp. And so I, darn it, I heard this rooster crow, and I just started out in that direction. Every little while I'd hear that rooster crow. God, I couldn't hardly walk. Oh, boy, I was sick. Oh, boy, just with this typhoid malaria fever, boy, I was awful bad. Well, I got over to that place at last. I guess I was an hour going a quarter of a mile. And said the old man, the old woman, the old man was out. And first I seen this woman. He was out behind taking care of a pair of yoke cattle he had there. And then he came in just a minute, but he just come right in. I told her I was an awful sick man, and could we get a doctor or something? He says, there's a doctor out here, 2 Rivers, right out. I said, we come through there. Yes, that's only a ways back. About 2.5 miles from there. And my father went on home, and left us there, and my brother and cousin and the rest of the crowd went right on up there and got in with them fellas there, monkeyed around, had a drink to give him, and forgot all about me, you see. He said, he'll be along in a minute. The rough kind of, that's the rough stacks are. By God, I had to have a doctor. Well, this woman, the first thing she's done, she just come right in, her husband come in, and they put a mustard plaster on me. She said, you've got some kind of a fever. She seemed to be a kind of a doctor herself, like she's awful, all mothers awful good old people, but they're poor, But she had some mustard there, and she put on a real good mustard plaster on me, a dandy. By God, but put down pretty hard, it burnt me. Knocked the skin off me pretty bad. Well, I went out and got that doctor, and he come and he says, you're an awful sick man, you better get to Mount Pleasant. You got the typhoid malaria fever. You better ask me where I live, and I told him. I'm not awful sick man. So you bet you are. Your fever's awful high. And done it happened to be. But if you can get down, word down here to when you go back here, if you see anybody there, you can get anybody to 2 Rivers, to the hotel there, where this doctor from 2 Rivers. Used to be a couple of stores there, and livery barns and everything. And so this fella by the name of Herb Churchill, he's a Harley fella. Their father, he used to run a livery stable here, and he drove up their team with a load of fellas to take them up there to the drive, you see. Mm-hmm. So this doctor, when he went back, he just happened to see him, and he just said, here, you just drive right down here and get this fella. He's an awful sick boy, and he wants to go to Mount Pleasant. Well, I knew him. He knew me just because he told him my name. Well, he went right down and got me there to that place and took me right straight home. Well, then we sent for our doctor here in Mount Pleasant, and he doctored me. Well, I was out of my head he took a little bit of a cold with this here, and I was 21 days with this fever on, you see. Practically, I was just scared all the time. I thought, my God, I was right to a big cave, and I was going right down in there 100,000 feet, and that scared me, when I was sick, I'd just jump right up out of bed, kind of crazy, literally like, Such much pain with that. But I got over that. Now that's only the one sickness, really, to say sickness, that I've ever had in all my life. I've always been lucky when I got this clip, this hard drag here. Been hurt little time. quite a lot of times, but struck, as I told you last night, with that skid there, knocked down 40 feet. Without, you know, even if I'd hit one of them logs, I wouldn't have been here to tell the tale, you see. Or anything that kind of struck on hard. How?
What did you say you hit?
Well, as we build up these rollways, if you cross the river, now, as I told you, like if you put them in there like that,